Good morning, everybody. So welcome to this week's Virtual Knowledge, a slightly different Virtual Knowledge this week, where you get to hear from not just two of us, but four of us lovely ladies from Jet2holidays. So joining us today, we've got the lovely Lucy from Pre-Travel Services. Morning, Lucy.
Morning, everyone.
We've also got Lydia joining us from Groups. Morning, Lydia.
Good morning, everyone.
And as always, my faithful sidekick, Helen. Morning, Helen.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, morning. So obviously Lucy and Lydia joining us today, giving you some top tips when making your fabulous Jet2holidays bookings. And this is also open to you guys to ask as many questions you've been dying to ask, which hopefully we'll be able to answer. But do pop those questions in the chat as we're doing the presentations and everything, purely so then we can try and answer them all at the end. And it gives us time to find out the answers if we don't know. So that's always a good bonus. So just going to give you a quick key reminders of what is happening at Jet2holidays at the moment. So we've still got the Spring 60 code, which has been launched for all April and May departures. It can be used in conjunction with the free trial places and can be used as well with the £60 per person automated trade website discount as well. So much to offer your customers for April and May departures. Obviously, the key focus is still summer 2024. And we've got some fantastic new destinations, which just going to give you a quick reminder of what we've got departing this year. So we've got the wonderful island of Simi. We've also got the Athens Riviera, Porto, so a fabulous city break there. And we've also got Morocco launching from October 2024. And just to add on the very end, we've got a new Christmas market that we've launched this month in Poland, in the wonderful Gdansk. I'm sure that's how it's pronounced. So again, it's supposed to be a very, very nice market to visit and one of the most popular Christmas markets. So obviously get those on your social channels and out to your customers. So like I said, pop any questions in the chat, and obviously a hand over to Lucy.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So purpose of this meeting this morning is just to do, you know, a recap of what we do cover on the trade team here. And we will also be going to the lovely Lydia with regards to any groups that you may have. So just a little bit about what we cover then on the trade team. So we do help you guys with any trade bookings up to 9 passengers. If you do have any complex bookings, for example, if you do need to have a sole occupancy and the room's not available, we can package that together for you on the trade line. We also actually need trade amendments for any amendments that you may have. We also do look at any group amendments up to 30 passengers. We can cover that as well for you. We do also support with the jet2.com calls. Now, there is a mixture of trade and direct as well. So we can cover all of those if you do need us to. A couple of other bits I wanted to touch on, which are quite important that may affect your customers if they are traveling to these certain destinations. So lead passenger name changes. So a few of you might have already be aware of this, but I just wanted to recap it. So if you are making a booking that's either to Alicante, Malaga or Ibiza, certain hotels within these destinations do require authorization before making a lead passenger name change. This can result in additional charges that being applied. So they may, for example, say to us, we would need to rebook the accommodation again, which would then incur additional charges. Now, this does apply to even if there's an error being typed on the lead passenger's name. So it is important that you are double checking the details with your customers before you're making the bookings, just to avoid any unnecessary additional charges. And then again, free child places. So again, it's really important that we are checking that the ages are correct for the children at time of booking, because this can also result in the free child place being lost if the child is a different age to what it was originally booked at. So it's just to help you guys out, just to avoid any you know, unnecessary charges that you may encounter along the way. Contact details. So again, it's really important that you are providing customers emergency contact details and not your own agency ones. I know all you lovely lot do like to help your customers out and like to service them as much as you can, but in some scenarios, if your agency is closed and the customer needs to be contactable, you know, we need a contact for your customer, and this isn't for marketing purposes at all. So it is for your customers' benefit in the long run. I also wanted to touch on the Jet2 app. So, you know, we need to all be recommending to our customers that they do download the app. You know, they can service the booking on there. That gives them a lovely countdown. It's a really good feature. It's a really good tool that we could be promoting to our customers. So if we can all get behind that, if you don't already do so, that would be lovely. And then one last thing I want to mention is the messaging service that we've got for everybody on the All You Trade Agents. So we do have the live chat function, which is on the trade site. So if you have got any questions or queries that you just want a quick answer to, 9 times out of 10, the guys on there will be able to help you. In some occasions, they may refer you to call through to us, which is absolutely fine. But, you know, as it does get busy through the busier times, you know, just to avoid any wait times on the lines, if you can reach out to the live chat, they'd be happy to help you, you know, answer any questions or queries that you may have. And then the very last thing from me before I pass over to Lydia. So you'll have all seen now on your trade site, you can add assisted travel to the booking at the time of the booking being made. So I just wanted to do a quick demonstration just to show you how you would do that. Now, it is really simple. It's that simple, even I can do it. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So I'm just going to share my screen now, and then I'm just going to talk you through how you would do it. Let me just share my screen. Just bear with me. Just let me know, ladies, can you see that just before I continue?
Not at the minute.
Can you see it now?
Oh, it's coming. I think it's coming.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is,
Yeah.
Lucy.
Okay, lovely. So just wait for the trade site. It is a little bit slow, but we will get there. Okay, so you'll have your names page here. And to the bottom of the names page, you've got your lovely little assisted travel section here. So let me just put a couple of names in just so I can get it, just to show you. Okay, so assisted travel, so passenger list. So it will ask which passenger requires the assistance. Now, any level of assistance can be added on this screen. So whether the customer would just want basic assistance, so wheelchair assistance at the airport, onto the aircraft steps. If they can't access the airport steps, the aircraft steps, we can book the ambilift. If they're taking any mobility equipment, that can also be added on. And I'm just going to show you how you can do that. I think the more you do it, like with anything, the more you do it, the more confident you can become. So you would just answer the question. So you guys are going to have your customers right there in front of you. So it would be a yes or no question. So for this one, does the customer need wheelchair assistance? Yes, they do. And then it will give you some more questions. So are they able to walk up and down the aircraft steps without assistance? For this one, I'm going to put yes. I'm going to put no, because I want to give you the option of what would happen if you say that they can't. So the most assistance that we can offer. Are they able to walk to the aircraft door to their seat? So I'm going to put yes on this one. But obviously, depending what your customer answers, you would put yes or no. Are they planning on traveling with their own mobility device? So I'm going to put yes again on this one. It will give you the option. So is it a manual or is it an electric? Now, a manual or electric, so that was more like your wheelchair. So if customers are taking like a walking stick or crutches or anything like that, that isn't applicable to this. So that can be carried and it doesn't need to be registered with us. But by all means, if you wanted to add that on as a, you know, you could put it in as a request, but we don't need to know about that. It's just more the actual mobility devices. We need to establish that we've got enough room on the aircraft to carry, whether it be a manual or an electric. We don't only have so many per aircraft. So in this one, I'm just going to put a manual. It will then ask you the following questions. So is there a significant visual impairment we need to know about? In this case, I'm going to say no. And again, a significant hearing impediment, no. Do you need an assistance dog or harness on board? Again, you would just hit the relevant answer. Do they have a nut allergy, or are there any hidden disabilities that require assistance at the airport? It will then ask you, do you require an adapted accessible holiday transfer or room? So in your first touch point, when you are touching base with your customers, you would already have established whether they would require an adapted room. And if that is the case and you are looking for information to see whether that hotel would be suitable, I would recommend calling into the call centre. We can give you that information if they do have, for example, adapted rooms, if that accommodation or that a destination do offer adapted transfers. So in this case, if you're happy that they don't need that, you would tick whichever's relevant. So in this case, I'm going to put no. It will then ask you the final 5 questions. And again, you just need to relay these back to your customers and answer as honestly as you can. If they answer yes to any of those, then you would just obviously follow the process. Again, if you were to answer no, I'm going to just put no on this one. So your assisted travel has been required. So if they ask for more of a complex query, it would say on this box here where it says assisted travel has been requested, it will say that the assisted travel team will contact yourselves within the next few days. Now, at the moment, the assisted travel team are extremely busy. So if we can do as much as we can prior to having to call them, it's going to be a lot easier for you guys than waiting on hold, especially once it comes to peak season. It's going to get a lot busier. So anything you can do to, reduce your wait times, then absolutely, do as much as you can. But again, it's like with anything, if you've not done it before, it's going to be a confidence building thing. The more you do it, the more that'll build your confidence. And again, if both passengers needed it, you would just pick it for whichever passenger needed it. You would need to agree that the customer is happy to share their details with ourselves with regards to the GDPR statement. And then if the customer does qualify for what we call medical seats, oh, look at that.
Good
Throw
timing,
me out.
good timing.
You couldn't write it.
Well, let me just hopefully it goes straight back into it. No. Right, let me just pull it back through. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to show you the where you would pick the seats. It would show you if there's any additional free seating available. So let me just pull that back through. Bear with me. You do find when you're going through the assisted travel questions, it can time you out. So if you do get that, it's probably best to have all the questions or have the customer there with you, just to be able to go through and answer the questions as quickly as you possibly can, just to avoid it timing out. Right, let me just pop it back on. Okay. So let's just confirm that. And then on your next page, where you're onto your seating and meals, it will tell you 2 passengers have qualified for free seats. So you can go in then to your seating plan and you can pick their 2 complimentary seats. So that would be the person needing assistance and then a carer. Just to also touch on, if you've got, say, so for example, if this booking was 2 adults and 2 children, it would allow free seats for everybody because the children would be auto allocated the free seats as well. But if in doubt, it will give you who is applicable, who is eligible for the free seats. But if you've got any questions about anything I've gone through, I know it's not much time, but if you've got any questions, then pop them in the chat and then I'll be happy to answer them. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pass over to Lydia and she's going to go through all things groups. So over to you, Lydia.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, everybody. Hope you're all okay. Just going to go through a few bits and bobs and hints and tips to highlight some of the things that we can offer to you in groups. So the groups department will sell package holidays to direct and trade agents of 10 passengers and more. That is 10 bums on seats, no infants within that figure of 10. We can book up to as many people as possible, and that is for villas and golf holidays as well as our standard package holidays. We can book via the interface, the trade site, and can book any other manual holidays. So if you've got passengers wanting to go for 3 nights, and we've got a minimum stay for example, of 5 nights at the hotel, we can depackage that for you to do the flights and the accommodation separately, but still giving them the Jet2 package holidays as they require. Sorry. Before booking, we request out to, for certain hotels, we do need to request out to resort. Now, this is for all bookings of 30 passengers and more, and that is for any accommodation. All of the ones will specify the contracted requirements for the room, so maybe 5 rooms, 4 rooms, and that can take up to 5 days to come back from resort. The agent that you speak to at the time of quotation will keep you up to date with this. However, like we say, it can take 5 days and they will have everything saved for you on that particular reference. The guys behind the scene have been doing loads of work on the trade site for us. So we have got a groups dedicated tab now. Let me just share my screen and show you. So when you go onto the trade site, you can go to the section that says groups. It then takes you to this page. Can you all see? Sorry.
No, not at the minute.
Not
yet.
Lydia.
I didn't think it changed. There we go.
There we go.
That's it. Can see it now.
So when you go onto the trade site, we've got our dedicated groups holiday tab. So if you go onto the holiday section, scroll down, and it takes you to group holidays. Like I say, the guys behind the scene have been working hard at getting this updated, so it's got as much information as possible for groups on this. You can then scroll down and find particular types of holidays. So you've got your stag do's, your hen do's, large family groups, like I mentioned earlier, golf and villa holidays, and also cycling holidays for groups getting particularly popular at the moment. So if we then click onto the hen do's section, for example, we can scroll down and we've got a lot of the properties and destinations for the top sort of 10 destinations for hens. If we pick, I'm just going to pick Portugal because that's one of the most popular ones at the moment for Albufeira. So these properties are going to be our top recommended hotels that we can use for hen do's. We then go into the hotel details. Now this is the same for all properties now with any additional information, so your room types, how many people they'll accept, if it's an adult only property. You scroll down after the room, we've got this additional information section here. So for this particular property, this requests €300 per apartment deposit, that is refunded in full. And then it also states at the bottom, groups of 5 rooms or more or 20 passengers are available on request. At that point, when anything says it's on request, that is when you would need to call through to us in the groups department so we can then send that request off for you for the dates and duration of the holiday. On the odd occasion, the hotelier will come back and say that it's not available because they can only accept so many groups at certain times down to their particular contracted rates. We would then obviously push back and try to get an option for you and try to secure it for the customer if it is just that specific property. If not, we can then look at other properties. I just want to show you the family section as well, because it's not just stags and hens that we do need to request out for. So for example, the 3HB collection in Portugal, even though this is a family property, this particular chain do ask us to request out for more than 8 passengers or 3 rooms. 9 times out of 10, they will come back available and say that they can accept it. But again, out of courtesy, because this is on here, we do have to request out to the accommodation. Otherwise, the booking will be rejected if they haven't got it in writing to say they'll select it and accept it. So that is the new site, that the new updated information on the site for us. As well as that, we have then got our group benefits. So our group benefits for booking through us, you get 30% off pre-booked seats and in-flight meals if we book them combined, 20% off seats or meals, and we have free name changes up until 14 days prior to departure. Again, that is for all groups, with the subject, as Lucy mentioned earlier, about the lead passenger names for Alicante, the Costa del Sol and Ibiza. We can also, so these aren't benefits, but these are just little extras that we can do. So we can remove the 22 kilos baggage on any beach holidays under 7 nights or less, so long as there's no free child place. That's a reduction of £20 per case. Just to let you know, if they did want to add that back on at a later date, it is £51 currently at the moment. So we always like to highlight that as well, just so the customers have got the total cost for everything. We can remove transfers on all group bookings. However, with groups, 9 times out of 10, you've probably seen yourself, it is better for us to upgrade the coach transfer to a private transfer. In some cases, they do get a big group reduction on that, and other cases it's a minimal charge for them to travel in comfort and have their own private transfer. We can use rain checks on the booking, so we can do 1 per room. Again, as long as there's no free child places in that room, we can take the valid references and rain checks at the time of booking. And we, again, like I've said, will request out to resort for anything that the customers need, and it can take a little bit of time to get back to you, but we will be on it. As well as that, with the information that you've got on the additional information on our site, we have got a full restrictions list at groups. So if there is any queries or questions or something isn't quite making sense, sometimes it could say request out for 4 rooms or 16 passengers. Just give us a call, and we've got a full restrictions list and recommended for groups, really, we like to call it. So we can either advise you of how we would go about that, or other options that we know that will accept up to 30 people without us requesting out and without any deposits and extra bits and bobs. I think that is everything. Yep, that's everything on my list.
Perfect. Thanks, Lydia, and thanks, Lucy, for that. So we've got a couple of questions, I think, in the chat. So the first one that's just come through now is, can we add more than 1 rain check on the system with groups? So I don't know if you want to just explain that one, Lydia.
So you can only add 1 rain check as per the normal booking conditions on the site. However, if you book it through the groups department, we can do 1 rain check per room, as long as there isn't a free child. So if you've got 10 rain checks and you've got 10 rooms, we can take them off, not a problem, £60 a room.
Excellent. Okay. And then we've got somebody asking whether you can take baggage off for groups under 7 nights.
Yep, so we can take the baggage off the groups under 7 nights as long as it's a beach holiday and there isn't a free child place on the booking. We can't take it off any city breaks, but yeah, we can take the bags off, and we can also leave bags on, so we can take off as many as they require. A lot of hens and stags do it, and they share 1 bag between a group of 3 or 4, so we can really work with the customers and see what works out best for them.
Yeah. Do you take on board? Oh, go on. Sorry, Kerry.
No, I was just going to say, Lydia, just to reconfirm, obviously, if agents want to take the bags or the transfers off for the customers, this has to be done prior to the booking being confirmed.
It has to be done at the time of booking. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was one which I don't know if Lucy you can help us with, just with regards to special assistance. Well, I mean, I know there's a lot going on at the moment with assisted travel, so all the updates and things that are going on the system. And I know we've had an update recently about some information that might be now going on to the trade site in terms of what adapted rooms and things like that. Have you heard anything that might be coming to show on the accommodation, whether or not anything's suitable? I know there's a thing around, we don't actually contract any of these adapted rooms, hence why we have to request out for them, but I don't know if there's anything coming
not as far.
anything.
I know the guys in assisted travel, they're doing a lot of work in the background, so I would just say watch this space, because a lot of people, the feedback has been received that you guys need this information. I think the issue we've got with loading it onto the trade site is because information changes so frequently, it would be constantly changing. So one property could offer adapted rooms, and then they may not longer be able to offer that. So I think we've just got to be careful with how it's loaded on. But yeah, they definitely are working behind the scenes to get something sorted. But if in the meantime we do have a full list on our system, so if there are any questions with regards to certain properties in certain destinations, generally we do have the information to say, well, yeah, this is suitable, we can get an adapted room, it is on request, or we can guarantee it prior to arrival. And again, we would just book the specific, for example, example, if it said it had to be a 1-bed apartment, we would just, because either the agent would make the booking on the trade site at the room that it's telling us to book, and then it would go off to the assisted travel team to request out to resort. But yeah, I would just say just keep an eye out for any updates. I think something will come, but nothing's been confirmed as yet.
Yeah, I'm sure we like I said, we had a call with the assisted travel, and there is a lot of developments coming. So the trade team will keep everybody updated. As soon as anything happens, you'll be the first to know, don't worry.
Just one other question, Lydia, on the groups. Is it only groups that you can take the luggage off? So if you've got a booking with less than 10, Lucy might be able to answer this. Can agents still take the luggage off for customers if they need to?
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Go on, sorry, Lydia. I didn't want to interrupt you then.
No, you go for it. As far as I'm aware, I think it is, but you can confirm.
Yeah, so again, we can, but same conditions apply. So baggage can only be removed on durations between 1 and 6 nights. For duration 7 or more, it can't be removed, and it can't be removed if there's any free child places on the booking. So yeah, same terms apply as the groups.
Lovely, thank you.
And it can't be, obviously, it can only be a beach, no city breaks or no villas, anything like that. So it's just your beach holidays, 1 to 6 nights.
Yeah.
There we are. So I'm just going to touch quickly on holiday essentials. It's a bit of an opportunity that we kind of miss out on across trade, to be honest with you. I know Lydia's just mentioned about the group discounts that you get for adding on those seats and meals. I don't know if everybody knows, but when you go through to do a price, it does give you on the hotel page a holiday essentials price, so you can give the customer the quote first of all, including seats or meals. It's easier to kind of give them the full price first and then take off, rather than give them the price and add on. The trade kind of uptake on meals currently at the moment is 3% so far this year. Last year it was 4%. Through the call centre, through the website, through the app, so any direct customers, the uptake is a hell of a lot higher. So we've got a massive opportunity. They're not even being sold to, and they're picking them up. In-flight meals are something that it's an award-winning kind of service on board a Jet2.com aircraft. My benefit, why I like ordering them, is because they get served first, and you see everybody looking down the aircraft, like sniffing the sausage and mash out, and you're like, yeah, it's mine. I've pre-booked it. Fine. So yeah, you get them served first, which is always a benefit. And at the end of the day, people always eat something on a plane, don't they? I think it becomes monopoly money as soon as you walk through that airport. So you might as well add it on at the time of booking, and then you've got to spread the cost. We've also got a little bit of an offer, a bit of a promotion for you customers that's launching today. So that's 20% off those in-flight meals. So it's on all new bookings only. And all the details are under the promotions section on the trade site, but it's 20% off. So make sure you are quoting those in-flight meals straight away and explaining all the benefits on there. There's a list on the trade site as well as to what the menu is. So now it might be difficult to ask whether you want a chicken tikka masala or an all-day breakfast on the 28th of July, but you know, I always look at the menu before I go to a restaurant anyway, so it's fine. Yes, so 20% off seats and meals. The code that you need is TRADEMEALS20, and it's on from today up until the 11th of April.